Welcome back to SportLab. Chelsea returned to the top four with a hard-fought 1-0 win over Tottenham, thanks to Enzo Fernandez's powerful header. Meanwhile, Spurs' nightmare form continues, and the pressure is mounting on Ange Postecoglou. Let's break it all down.
The Sky Sports app, you can feast on all the midweek action. And Cole Palmer's just having a chat with Jamie Redknapp as I show you the league table, which sees Chelsea back into the top four. And just 5 points now behind Nottingham Forest, but look at the queue behind them. City just a point back, Newcastle 2 back. Then it's Aston Villa with a gap of 4 points now, and Brighton 5 points behind. Now Gary Cahill's been serenaded by the Chelsea fans who stayed behind. Spurs down there in 14th place. They're not going to get relegated. It doesn't feel like they're going to finish in the top half either. That's 16 defeats in the first 30 games of a Premier League season for the very first time, and the first time they've lost 16 matches in a Premier League season for over 20 years. And it's Southampton to come next before they're back in Europa League action. We've got Formula One to look forward to as well. Much more to come here from Gary Cahill, from Jamie Redknapp in just a minute. We'll get live. Patrick Davison. Enzo Maresca is standing by to speak to us. Enzo, do come in and join us.
Okay. How are you doing? You all right?
Good to see you, Enzo. Come and join us. Congratulations on a terrific victory. What was at the heart of it for you? And were you equally pleased with the performance as the result?
Yeah, I think both they were quite good. For sure, in this moment, the result is an important part because we are close to the end of the season. In the same time, we try to achieve the result, playing in the way we want to play. And I think for some moment the team was very good. Then we don't work every day, and we don't like to finish the game in the way we finished the last 10 minutes. But I just said that for me, if we want to become an important team, we need to win also this kind of game in a dirty way, an ugly way. And so, yeah, quite happy.
So what were the elements of the performance that you did like?
No, overall, I think it was a very good performance. I think we deserve to win the game. We create enough chances probably already first half to score. And then I think the performance was very good. In the last 10 minutes, I think the team showed also effort, togetherness, spirit, and it's something that we need.
Congratulations, another Chelsea win against Tottenham at home. I just want to ask you, I obviously have seen progression. I've seen the way that you work personally. And I just want to ask you, how do you measure progression this season? Is it Champions League and winning the Europa? Is it one or the other? How do you measure progression for yourselves?
Yeah, if you measure on the result, for sure, if we achieve a Champions League, it's an important thing. But from my point of view, I try to see how we improve the day by day. And I can see since the first day, I think the team is getting better and better. We need to learn how to play different games, because tonight, I think for us, it's better when we face teams that they press higher, because we are more space to attack. In the last 4 games here, we played, Southampton, Leicester, Wolves, West Ham, all teams that they were waiting for us. So you struggle to find space, and we need to learn to play both kind of games.
Enzo, I know managers sometimes don't like to talk about individuals, but I want to ask about Moises Caicedo, because I can't think of a better defensive midfield player around right now. He is covering so much ground. He picked up a really nasty injury, could have come off. A lot of players might have even come off, but he stayed on, and he was a warrior for you today.
Absolutely, completely agree with you. I think in this moment he's one of the best defensive midfielder in the world. He's doing fantastic. The best thing about Moy is that every day he's working serious. He's very humble, he's very kind, he's polite. He's a fantastic guy. And I think today was another great performance. Also, I think we had more players like Trev, Chalobah did fantastic game. But I think overall all the teams was good.
And 55 seconds into the game, you turned Tottenham with a direct ball.
Yeah.
Was that something that you maybe thought that you could get success? Was that because you did it a few times and you got a lot of great situations from it?
Yeah. We prepare. We know that they are high pressing. We know that they hold the line, very high line. So we prepare today. We prepare more option in behind, even with Jadon, even with Pedro, Nico, and also the action, the goal we score. Enzo was in the right position once again, and yeah.
But is that also the Nicholas Jackson factor in your team? Did we see the difference that he can make to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I just said to some of the players that at the end, this game belongs to the players. And if you don't have players, you can have the best idea. But and us with Nico, we are a different team because he's a threat in behind. Off the ball, he's pressing everyone. So we are a different team with Nico.
Do you feel you're in a race now, Enzo? It's this little mini season to reach Champions League football next season. Aston Villa have strengthened in January. They're in form. Newcastle have some momentum as well. Manchester City are not going away.
Yeah, but I think from now on is how you manage the emotion because in case you don't win, you see teams that they go ahead of you, and if you win, you see it there. So it's until the end it will be like this. It's how we manage the emotion, but for sure we have been all season there. The first part of the season, 5-6 months, we were even better. Now it's a matter to finish well.
Well done. Congratulations. Thank you, Enzo.
Thank you very much.
Congrats.
There is Enzo Maresca, the winning Chelsea manager tonight. We have a...
But it meant everything to me, the boys and the fans especially. The fans are amazing out there.
It was lively, wasn't it? It was loud.
That was amazing. And they got us through that, I can tell you that.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Go on, describe a little bit more about that.
How loud it was in there in the last 10 minutes, and it was giving everything. It's giving the Tottenham fans stick everything, and that's what we need. And I'm not gonna lie, that gave us an extra 10 minutes. The runs at the end, the boys were buzzing because of it, and yeah, that was amazing.
Did it feel like a difficult game in all?
I think we broke them down well at times, and other times we might have been in a low block and we were sitting in, but we felt comfortable. We knew how they play, and we knew how to hurt them. And I think today we played really well, and we could have scored way more chances.
Yeah, Levi, big fan. Congratulations today. Obviously spoke before, you got bundles of potential, you're growing all the time. What's next for you in terms of your development? 22 years of age, breaking into the England setup. What's next for you?
I think everyone always says, I got a load of potential, but I don't think potential means anything. I think you got to show it every game. And obviously this season, at times I have, and at times I haven't. So I need to keep progressing and learning because I know where I can be, but to get there, I need to learn as much as I can, and under this gaffer especially, he's going to take me there for sure.
And in terms of leadership, obviously you're still young at 22, but you're experienced, you're gaining experience all the time. Do you see that as a role that you can grow into?
Yeah, definitely. I think the boys give me respect because they know how I like to push them, and I'm learning from Reece, from Toss, from players that have bundles of experience anyway. So I'm growing as I get older, and I've got amazing players around me that help me and help me learn.
Levi, about 55 seconds into the game, Trevor Chalobah played one into the space and in behind the two Tottenham centre-backs, and it's almost set the tempo.
Yeah.
Was that something you looked to do with Tottenham playing a high line? Because a lot of the time you do play out from the back and you're a bit more conscientious about how you play, but you were quite direct today.
Definitely, we need to win games at the end of the day. We're fighting for Champions League, and to win games we have to change our style sometimes, and we knew they had a high line, and we have Nicholas Jackson. I mean, he's a huge threat to feet and in behind, so we know if we play to his advantages, we'll get goals, and today we had great chances to score goals from that.
Just one thing you said there, Levi, to Gary was about under this manager, you're sure that you will get there for sure. What is it about Enzo Maresca and his coaching ability then?
He's top, he's proper hands-on, he helps me out personally, he tells me what I need to improve on. He's not a manager that just says, you're amazing. No, he says, you need to improve on this. If I make a mistake in training, he says, come on, this is happening in games now, you need to take it to another step. And that's what he's done with me, and I know for sure that under him I'm going to improve bundles.
So getting this win tonight, you knew this was big, right,
Yeah.
in terms of the Champions League?
Of course, and also it's a derby. We can never take that away from anything. That win was for the boys and the fans because I know how much it means to everyone.
Congratulations. 3 clean sheets on the bounce here at Stamford Bridge as well. No wonder they're cheering for you.
Thank you, boys.
Levi, thank you very much.
Nice to see you.
So that's Levi Colwill from the winning dressing room.
Big 3 points at home to Tottenham at Stamford Bridge. It means they're into the top 4 and very much keeps their Champions League hopes alive. Did they do just about enough then for you, Glenn, to warrant the 3 points?
Oh, yes, tonight, yeah. On that performance over the 90 minutes plus, it was a lot of plus.
12
they
minutes.
did enough. They did enough. They were the dangerous team. They're the ones that created a lot in the first half. And then what the manager did, let's put 3 at the back. Let's put the big guys in because they thought Spurs might launch a few balls in there. Didn't actually do as much as I thought they should have done, right at the death there. But they dealt with everything that Spurs, threw at them. And it was only one chance really, right at the very end when Johnson got on the outside, crosses it through that 6-yard box where Son might have scored and Sanchez made a recovery save. Other than that, you can't really say that Spurs created any really other good chance. They really didn't. Chelsea were in control of that game most of the game.
Half chance from Mickey van der Ven, wasn't it? A little scrappy thing in the penalty area, he hits it into the ground. I agree with Glenn. I thought there was one team in control, and that was Chelsea, and they deserved to win the game.
What it does do is it continues his stranglehold over Spurs, which is simply incredible at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, you got to forget that now. You can't worry about that. Like we talked at the top of the show, there's one game at a time. It's the Frankfurt game. It's next Thursday. Where they're going to get the confidence? I'll tell you where they're going to get confidence, when they play at home to Southampton. That's where they get the confidence. If they was to lose that game, it's a different kettle of fish, but it's unthinkable. Unthinkable they can go into that with all their players back to fitness now, apart from Kulusevski, for them to lose at home to Southampton on the eve of a massive European tie, which they have to win.
Yeah, I think he'll rest a few of them players for Thursday for Frankfurt. Definitely. Van der Ven, he brought him off pretty right at the end there. Didn't want to take any risks with him.
No, because it has backfired before.
Yeah, of course. So he needs to get his number one team, his strongest team out there for the Thursday. Yeah. And let's face it, the squad that they've got, they should be able to go out against Southampton, who are virtually down, playing at home. You should get through that tie, that game and win the game.
Well, we'll talk more, I suppose, mid-term in terms of Spurs and Ange Postecoglou, where it leaves him between now and the end of the season. But took Chelsea, 4 minutes of the second half, Glenn, to get the match-winning goal. Enzo Fernandez, how did he find the space to make this header count?
Well, what it was, he goes into the penalty area and he's waiting for the ball to go out. He goes out and then he drifts. He just drifts on the blind side of Van der Ven. He hasn't had to make an acute look. We're watching here. We circle him. Look, Van der Ven's there. Romero's got Jackson there, and it just makes a subtle little run on the blind side. And if you don't open your body up there as a defender, you don't see him. Van der Ven, for whatever reason, has gone across to Romero's guy.
And Jackson.
He's gone to Jackson, where he was lined up nicely to be there, and he would have headed that away if he does his job well. And at the end of the day, it's a decent finish, but it was an easy finish for him.
He's got a real problem, Glenn, hasn't he, Mickey van der Ven? As soon as he can see, Enzo can see his number, you've got a serious problem. He's drifted behind him, cannot see him, and it's a fantastic header. He drifted into the box time and time again tonight. He's a better number 8. He's not a 6. They've got Caicedo to do that job. Yeah. He puts the shift in. He gets back, he gets up, and he's a goal threat. I think he's fulfilling his potential. I know he's won things. I think he's a major player for them in the future, but they have to build around him.
What did you make of the Spurs defenders and their body language at the point that ball goes over?
Well, I thought all night. I sing the praises of Mickey van der Ven all of the time. I think in straight lines, when the ball's in behind him, he recovers. I think he's very good. He's dynamic the way he recovers. I think he can still improve. He's still developing. I think from crosses, he's not the best, and it showed it there tonight. It's highlighted that, but you need to keep developing. Just because they're in the first team doesn't matter. You need to keep showing them. Keep showing the positives, showing the negatives, and they've got to take it on board. And at the moment, I think Mickey van der Ven can improve in them situations. I think it's only him. He has to hold his hands up there, and so it's drifted off the back of him.
His problem is, like any defender, Tim, is that he's looked to the ball. I used to say to defenders, when it's acute to you, when the ball's in front there, that's one thing. You can see the attack. Once it goes acute and there's a cross come in, if you look at that ball more than 2 seconds without having a look, readjusting over your shoulder, looking. We talk about midfield players, good midfield players, knowing the picture, looking over your shoulder, having your wing mirrors on. It's the same for defenders, to actually open your shoulder up, have a little glance. Where's he gone? Has he pulled off me? Have I got him? No. He's looked at the ball, and he's looked at the ball, and he's looked at the ball. Yeah. He hasn't got a clue where the attacker is.
Is it rustiness?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, there was a few of them in there who have not played a lot, but you could say the same for Chelsea as well. They had a few players in there. I mean, he's lasted 74 minutes or whatever, Nicholas Jackson, maybe even longer. Cole Palmer stays in there. I think you can't take away from the quality of the cross as well. He just lends it in there with his left foot, doesn't he? Doesn't just whip it aimlessly across. He knows exactly where Enzo's going to end up, and he puts it on the spot, and it's a good header. 6
minutes later, it felt like the contest was almost put to bed. Moises Caicedo scored this goal, but VAR, of course, intervened, and Levi Colwill was deemed to be offside.
Yeah, good use of VAR.
You think so?
Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, once they've looked here, it's very tight. It's a toenail decision again, which I don't like, and it was a wonderful strike. But, I mean, for the naked eye, it looked like he was just offside. It took an awful long time, but as long as they get to the correct decision, that's what they did. But again, Tottenham clearing it, and there's no one winning the second ball. Caicedo's there again. He anticipates where the ball's going to fall, and it's a great volley from him. But it's a correct decision.
It's marginal, though, isn't it? It's so tight.
No, it's miles offside. No, I mean, that was good use of VAR, and that's what you need it there for, lines. It just took so long, didn't it? Yeah. It was a crucial decision. It was tight as well, let's be fair. I can't wait for automated offsides to come in. Because
just come in, April the 12th?
We can get him earlier.
Yeah, we can get him earlier. But it's so easy and clearer and crisp, and oh, look, it is a toenail. You can see it's a toenail. Whereas that red line, you can't tell if that line's too thick at the moment. Yeah. For us, we're going, maybe it might have gone the other way. But, once that comes in, it's much clearer and it'll be quicker and let the game flow again.
In the end, how much better did Chelsea look for having Jackson and Palmer back in the lineup?
Yeah, improved them. Oh, you've got a vocal point up front, haven't you? Someone who occupies defenders and creates space for others. I think he looked a real threat from the first minute, when he goes in behind them. And he scares them to death with that. Automatically, they step back another 5 or 10 yards and it leaves the space for Enzo.
It was a minute in and he hit the post, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a real threat. I mean, he's hit and miss, the boy. You don't know what you're going to get. He's a bag of rebels. But in the end, I think he knows what he's doing. Yeah. He knows he's a nuisance, and that's what he is. Yeah. He's an absolute nuisance, and I mean that as a big positive. And that's a compliment from me. I would have loved to have him in my team. Because he can be hit and miss with the finishing. Sometimes he needs to slow himself down in front of goal, but he's a real threat in behind.
That's a bag of chocolates, if in case anybody doesn't know what they are, but others are available.
We showed the clips before the game
Yeah.
of what they've been missing. Neto weren't going to do that run when he was playing.
No.
He wanted to come towards the ball. Suddenly, within first minute, we've showed them clips, he's going on the back of the defence, and as Tim says, now you're stretching the pitch. You've got a number 10 in there, a proper number 10, as in Cole, who's now going to create a lot more space for him to go and play and hurt you. Whereas Neto would be coming towards the ball and crowding that out, and then it's the number 10 that's got to go in behind. Yeah. If that's the case, that's not Chelsea. He gave them that little threat in behind, and any defender will tell you that's where they don't want. They don't want that player coming towards the ball and spinning and getting in behind. That's a nightmare for them.
I did mention how maybe Van de Ven might have been rusty with the decision making for that header, but considering that Jackson was out for 2 months, I mean, there was no sign of that whatsoever.
No, he looked as sharp as anything.
Yeah,
actually, I've got to say, he wanted to go in behind. He didn't look really fatigued, where you're thinking, oh, you better drag him off. He protected him. But no, he looked really sharp. Sometimes that happens, Your first one or two, you feel stretched. It's about the third one that you might hit the rail, and the buffers a little bit. But, that's what I'm only talking from my experience. The first one or two,
I agree.
If you've been out a while, is okay. You get through that. But it's the third one.
And they're playing no reserve games these days.
No, that's right. Yeah.
They just get themselves up. The heart monitors are on. The sports scientists say, yes, Gaffer, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
They know their bodies more than anyone. The manager has to trust him. He's asked him. He's obviously trusted him to play 90 if he wanted to do that. I thought he played very well tonight. I really do.
Yeah. And he certainly signalled his intent so early in the game. Yeah. And I suppose Spurs centre-backs knew they were in for a match-up from that moment on.
It's exactly what you want. Just send a message out.
Yeah, exactly.
That, you can try and squeeze us if you want. We know Tottenham like to put the press on. And if Sanchez gets it out of his feet and hits it long, he goes over the top. It sent a message out that we can play both ways. If you want to go short, we'll do that. We'll go over the top as well. We've got Jackson who's going to threaten him behind. Yeah. Thought he was excellent.
Right, let's get some more reaction then on that big win for Chelsea. Pitchside at the bridge for us. Levi Colwill. Levi, thanks for joining us. Well done tonight on a hard-fought win in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was an amazing win for the boys, for the fans. It meant so much for all of us, and we're just so pleased to get the 3 points and push on to the next.
And how significant do you see that result in terms of your Champions League aspirations?
Yeah, definitely. We know Tottenham are a good side, and we've got to take every game like it's the final. And also, it's a derby. This meant so much for us and the fans, and we knew we had to go out there and give them everything.
There's this terrible run that Spurs are on when it comes to going to Stamford Bridge. 1 win in 40 in all competitions. Is that something that you players were wary of going to this game, almost as if it's got a hold over these Spurs players?
I wouldn't say so. They've got some really good players, but so do we. And here at the Bridge, with that environment, with the fans going crazy, we got that extra push, and it showed today.
We were talking about the rivalry between Chelsea and Tottenham and how over the years it just delivers goals and drama, plenty of flashpoints. Was that aware amongst the Chelsea players? Were you all aware of that going out onto the field of play today?
No, I wouldn't say so. Of course, it's a derby. Previous times we played against them, of course, we've scored those goals and conceded loads of goals. But I think today, a 1-0 win and a clean sheet has been the best performance we've got against Tottenham recently, or that I've played in at least.
I suppose, yeah, you said the clean sheet, with your defender's hat on. That's the ideal outcome, particularly when it comes against your fiercest local rivals.
Yeah, definitely. A clean sheet gives us all the confidence we need, especially in a derby where, the fans are going crazy. It can be a lot going on, but we just got to keep our cool and make sure they don't score and go to the other end and score as many goals as we can. And I think today we created a load of chances, which we could have scored more from, but we'll take the 1-0 win and the 3 points.
You're up to 4th now, so what would be the ultimate aim? Is it those top 5 places? Is it all on that, or not in your eyes?
We got to push to get Champions League. That's the level we're at. And of course, recently in the last couple of months, we've maybe dropped off. But we need to pick back up now and get the points and take every game like it's a final. And push for the Champions League spots.
And how big a bonus is it to get the likes of Noni back and Nicholas Jackson and of course Cole Palmer?
Oh yeah, these players are amazing. I think you see today Nico, he just creates chances out of nothing, and that's why he's such a good player. Noni, when he came on, gave us the energy we needed to pick us up, to get us up the pitch, got fouls, got the fans going, and we all know how good Cole Palmer is, creates everything for us. When we get the ball to him, everyone gets excited, the fans, us, because we know that he's going to cause them a nightmare and potentially score or get assists or give us another chance to get up the pitch.
Levi, well done today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. See you later, guys.
Chelsea defender Levi Colwill, who's becoming a regular feature now of that centre-back, of that Chelsea defence, isn't he, Glenn?
He is. I mean, I saw him when I first saw him at Brighton, when he was on loan down at Brighton. I thought, who's this kid? He looks impressive to me. He's tall, he's elegant, he's got a bit of pace about him, and he's got good use of the ball. And that's when I first saw him, and then obviously he comes now into the He's gonna make a few mistakes. I've seen a couple of mistakes out of him, but you learn very quickly as a youngster. And for me, he's one that's going to be in that England squad for years to come.
Yeah, and can't be easy because he is still quite young. He's not had a regular centre-half partner with him, or even a goalkeeper, which has been chopping and changing of late, which must make a defender's life quite tricky.
Absolutely, but he's a regular. I think he's grown. He's got more confidence. He's got a personality about him now. He's got his pal playing. They've called him back from Palace. Trevor Chalobah's in there, 2 academy boys. Obviously got a Reece on the bench. They've got a core of academy players. I think it's really important for any team to have. You can buy the superstars, you can drop them in, but as long as you have your core, they really mean. He said it's a derby. It's the first thing he said. Some of the other foreign players in there, they would have been told that it's a derby, but they wouldn't recognise it as much as these boys do.
Yeah.
He recognised that. He knew it was a huge game, not only for the position in the league where they need to be, but for bragging rights for their fans tomorrow. They're going to have a lot of fun, their fans, with the Tottenham fans.
I felt sorry for him. He had a spell where he had to play left back, do you remember?
Yeah.
They went into a 3 in possession, but in defensive he was always out playing left back for a long spell, and I'm thinking that ain't doing you any good. In the long run it might do. He knows what a full-back's position is now, so that's helped him in his education as a centre-back. But realistically, his position is perfect. Where he played today, that's where he can progress.
Yeah. OK, well, we can head back to Stamford Bridge and this time speak to Chelsea legend, former striker Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. Evening, Jimmy. What was your reading then of Chelsea's performance over the 90 minutes?
I thought it was a good Chelsea performance. I think they started really sharp with a good chance from Nicholas that he didn't convert it. But I think Chelsea controlled the game without the ball and with the ball. Created some chances, especially from the left. 2 good saves from the Spurs goalkeeper. And overall, I think it's a deserved win. The last 10 minutes was a little bit nervy. They go with 5 at the back just to play for the result. But overall, I think it was a good performance after their last game against Arsenal. I think it was a good performance.
Yeah, because they registered the lowest expected goals against Arsenal and clearly showed more of an attacking threat this time round. Talking of which, Nicholas Jackson, back in the lineup after 2 months. He looked pretty sharp considering his absence.
He's important for the team. He brings a lot of energy. He gives them something else that they don't have. Yes, he needs to get better at converting his chances, but he's creating his own chances a lot of time. And He's putting defenders on the back foot, and that's what they have missed a bit. And yeah, it was important seeing him back.
Jimmy, hope you're well, mate. Tim Sherwood. I just want to ask you, you're on the ground there, you can hear. Could you hear the frustration from the Tottenham fans there? Especially towards the end, there was a few changes what Ange made.
Yeah, you could hear it. It's not nice. It's not, I think, deserved because the boy that came in, Sarr, was a little bit unlucky with being lucky. He makes a foul, but then he almost scores with a good hit, and it's a good player as well. So it's look, the manager makes substitutions because he thinks that's the best substitution to win the game, you know. So yeah, it's not nice, but yeah, you could hear it, Tim. You could hear it.
Finally, Jimmy, you know, winning against your fierce rivals, you've been there for Chelsea. We saw it earlier with that hat-trick against Spurs. What does that do to the confidence in that dressing room going forward?
Well, I hope a lot, you know. They can take a lot from the game. They've got Nicholas back, they've got Palmer back. Caicedo was immense today. He's so important for the team. They played some good football here and there. Now, for the rest of the season, they've got to challenge themselves. They've got the challenge to keep this kind of performance up and keep on creating them chances and put them away. What was really good today as well is that they kept a clean sheet, and they haven't kept clean sheets for a long time. If they keep on keeping clean sheets, then you know, you have a much bigger chance of winning games. And successful teams, that's what they do, clean sheets.
We also need spectacular goal celebrations. It's not been the same at the Bridge since you left.
No. Listen, it was a good day for Chelsea today. Good performance. The place was rocking. The atmosphere was absolutely amazing. They got the 3 points against their biggest rivals, you know, here in London. Well done to them. And now up to the next one.
Great talking to you, Jimmy, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you.
See you, Jimmy.
Cheers. Thank you.
Former Chelsea striker Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Obviously, VAR plays its part. There's 2 long delays, 2 goals ruled out. Their one's tight, but I guess factual. I could see you didn't agree with Papsar's goal being ruled out. Just tell us how you saw it.
Look, it's killing the game, mate. It's not the same game it used to be. You know, we all sat on our couches last night, watched TV, and I guarantee you, if Jared Gillett was the VAR last night, would have got a different outcome. So you just don't know what you're going to get, and you're standing around for 12 minutes. Just it's killing the game, but no one cares about that. I think everyone loves the drama, the controversy. I'm sure there'll be 24-hour sort of discussion around it. I think that's what everyone wants. They're not interested in really that it's just killing the spectacle of the game. You know, if the referee saw that and then he needs to see that for 6 minutes, tell me what's clear and obvious about it, mate. Just a clean explanation. What's clear and obvious about? Last night we all sat on our couches and saw one replay and gone, oh my God. Tonight we sat there and we waited for 6 minutes for something that apparently the VAR official Jared Gillett thought was clear and obvious. It's crazy, mate. It's madness, but we accept it. And when you accept something, I guess you have to take the fallout from it.
So I guess part of your issue then, or a big part of your issue, is the delay. But do you think that decision's wrong?
Look, Pat, you can try and force me into a corner.
I'm not trying to force you into anything.
You are. Did you think last night was a red card? Was it clear and obvious? Yes. Okay. How many minutes did it take this referee to figure out whether it's clear and obvious? In your just basic knowledge of human, vocabulary, clear and obvious, what does that suggest to you? That on the first replay, is that clear and obvious? If you have to watch something quite a few times, is that clear and obvious?
No, it's maybe not clear and obvious. I do think it's a foul, if I'm honest.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. So there you go. So the referee didn't see it. He then needs to see it for 6 minutes, but you get the right outcome, so you're happy, and that's why the game's going the way it is. And I guess people like you will continue to be happy sitting on your couches waiting for 6 minutes for clear and obvious stuff. That's fine. I don't agree with it, but that's fine.
Fine. What happened with you and the supporters tonight, Ange? Well, no, because they booed the substitutions you made. Bergvall for Sarr, and when Sarr thought he'd scored, I saw that you looked at them. You heard the chants. You don't know what you're doing. You heard that?
No, mate. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know. You don't think you looked at the supporters?
No, I did, yeah. I wanted them to be happy, mate. We've just scored a cracking goal, so I wanted them to. I was listening. I wanted them to cheer because they haven't had a lot to cheer about.
Fine. So that was nothing to do with the substitutions being booed. If it's a no, it's a no. I've got it wrong. Fine.
First time my substitutions have been booed. If you followed my sort of tenure, it's not the first time, and they're allowed to boo. But I wanted them to cheer because I thought it was a cracking goal.
Yeah, okay. But look, you said in the week you did an interview with Mark Schwartz and you talked about losing a large portion of the Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
Is that what we saw tonight? Do you feel like you've lost some of them?
I get it, Pat. You're trying really hard. That's fine. Look, you can paint. Look, you've already decided what the outcome is. My outcome tonight is it was a really tight game. I thought decided by a really poor decision, and apart from that, everyone got through healthy. We got some great minutes into some guys. And we moved to Sunday.
Okay. All right. And you saw enough for Thursday. But that's because the season hinges on that ultimately, doesn't it?
No, we've got to get Sunday first. We've got to go out there on Sunday. I think it's important that we continue to play.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Ange, there's no agenda.
No, that's fine, mate. No worries.
Right.
No problem.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Quite clearly frustrated, Ange Postecoglou. Not happy with VAR and the length of time it took with Pape Sarr's goal being disallowed in the end for a foul in the build-up. What did you make of what Ange just said there?
What Ange just said? Or was it a foul?
No, first of all, what Ange's reaction?
Oh, he's disappointed, he's frustrated, they haven't won the game. We've been in that position. I've been exactly in that position at the Bridge as well. So it must be something to do with Tottenham managers at the Bridge. It's the emotion of the game. We talked about how big that occasion is. And it didn't go their way. But let's talk about the incident. It's a foul.
Because he says it's not clear and obvious.
It's a foul. It's a foul. It's not clear and obvious to the referee in full time, and it wasn't clear and obvious to us. But as soon as we see it, it didn't have to take 4 minutes. But as soon as we saw it, we could see that it was a clear foul. It was a straight leg. It was on his knee, and it's a decent strike, but the goalkeeper has to save it anyway.
Yeah.
And 100%, you can tell by the reaction of the Chelsea players, it's a foul.
It's not an easy one, though, is it? When we first saw it, we thought, well, I think he's just pinched the ball off him. But then when you see it there, he's made contact with Caicedo, and the referee's going to see that. They didn't stop it in this position here, slow motion. That is clear and obvious.
Yeah.
That he's fouled him. Whether it's a booking and all them things is another aspect to it. That's probably why it took as long. Nothing to do with the actual foul. It took as long, 4 minutes or whatever it took, because they were looking to see whether it was a red or a yellow. So I think that's where the timing of it wasn't just the decision, is there a foul there, which Ange was saying.
Yeah.
And I understand his frustrations. But it also took 4 minutes to get the offside when Caicedo did score at the other end. So that's okay, is it? Because you get the result. You get the decision go your way. It was 4 minutes at that end as well to work out. And that was much more difficult than the foul.
I really don't care how long it takes. I really don't. I know a lot of people get frustrated with it, but I don't care how long it takes, as long as you come to the correct decision.
Yeah.
Like last night, they looked at it, I thought it was poor. They got the wrong decision, even though they looked at it for however many minutes it was. And they've come out and they've admitted that today. Today, they've taken their time, and on both occasions, they are correct.
So you both say that's a foul by Sarr on Caicedo. Was it right also then to give him a yellow, having reviewed the incident?
I don't think it was bad enough. It's not excessive force to be a red. It was high. Right. When they freeze it, it's naughty, but it's a glancing blow to his leg. Yeah, it's a glancing blow. But I honestly believe he's gone into foul him. He's not, or maybe he's gone to poke the ball and he's just tried to shear it. Yeah. He's shielding the ball away from Papsar, and he catches him. There's no question. And the whole of the team, the Chelsea team, go up.
Yeah.
You can it's a giveaway. I mean,
but
I know they appeal.
They didn't go up until the goal went in. They weren't anywhere near the referee. They weren't claiming it was a foul then. Until the goal went in, then 4 of them run to the referee because it ended up in the back of the net. If you get a reaction where you've seen it, it's clear and obvious to the player, and you see that he's been done. For me, he was just trying to pinch the ball. Caicedo's leg actually gets in the way. It's a foul, 100% a foul. But even when I see it, he hasn't tried to do him or anything like that. For me, definitely not a red, even maybe not a yellow.
No.
It's an accident. He hasn't tried to go, I'm going to do you here,
And
son.
it's not dangerous, you're saying,
No, he's just tried to tow the ball away, which it looked in real life, in real time. It looked as if he just poked it away, he went on, scored a goal. But when you just see it again, you think, oh no, he made contact with the leg first.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's Caicedo putting his leg across the front, he hasn't gone in there and tried to do him.
Got a bit of history of these boys.
They have got a bit of history, yeah, you're right.
I think in the reverse fixture, I remember Caicedo tackling Sarr, and it was a red card in my opinion.
This is it.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the incident. Yeah.
There we go.
This is back in December when Chelsea won 4-3.
He pokes it away, he goes over the top of the ball, that's a red card.
That wasn't even given as a yellow.
No, that's a red. It's a red card in my opinion. Excessive force, over the top of the ball. And as Papsar, if I'm Papsar, I remember that. And if I get an opportunity in another game to get my own back, not that I want to hurt anyone, but I will.
But
I don't think
no, you won't.
Like, get my own back.
But you get your own back.
Yeah. But I don't think that was that sort of tackle where he's eyed him up and gone, I'm going to get you, son, from last, December.
Yeah.
He's literally, they're losing 1-0. He's trying to pinch that ball off him, and he's just caught his leg.
Yeah.
It's an accident, absolute accident. It's actually how it achieved. He got onto the ball and scored the goal. That's what he was trying to achieve when he did it. But actually, he's made contact with the player's leg. And as I say, the reaction from the Chelsea players wasn't until the ball went in the net.
Yeah.
When they were hoping then the referee would see it.
So, Ange, furious there about that decision, ultimately ending in Sarr getting a yellow. I wonder what Ange would have felt if we rewind the clock. Moments before that yellow was given, Sarr was fouled in the penalty box. Yeah. Well, it looked like he'd been fouled. Yeah. But he wasn't. Now, there could be an argument that maybe should he have been given a yellow card for simulation, i.e. then the second incident meant he might have seen his marching orders.
100%. It's either a penalty or a yellow card. You can see it's a clear dive. It's a clear dive from Papsar. So the second incident comes a minute after, should be a second yellow card. He died. There is contact there, but he initiates the contact from, look, his leg goes across into Caicedo. It's a yellow card or it's a penalty. It's not a penalty. And look, they're having the beef now. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's saying to him. So, and it was only a minute after.
I get it's a sliding doors moment, right? Should the yellow card have come first, maybe that second incident might not have happened.
No, it would have happened because he was going for the ball.
For the ball, yeah.
She was actually going to pinch the ball, just nick the ball and get away from him, which he ended up doing, but he actually hit Caicedo's leg. He should have been booked for that first one. We've played the game before. As the ball got pulled back to him, my instinct, I shouted out in the green room, I said, book him, ref.
Yeah, you did.
Because we knew he's gone down. He's tried to get a penalty. Instead of concentrating, first touch, get a shot in.
Yeah.
And that's what wasn't in his mind. He was going, I'm going to get a penalty here for my team. All right, can't blame him for that. But at the end of the day, the referee should see that, feel the game and go, book him. Now, if there's another foul later on in the game, it might have been for not retreating 10 yards. He gets sent 2 yellows or whatever. But, that's when the referee's got to step in and have a look at that. He didn't even think of that. As Tim says, it's a penalty or he thinks he's dying.
Yeah, simulation.
Yeah.
OK, in the end for Spurs, not too many clear-cut chances in front of goal, but into stoppage time, Son, the skipper, had a chance at the far post. How good an opportunity was this?
Yeah, really good, and it was a good play. Romero starts it off there, and he gives it to Brennan Johnson, who comes in. He gives Cucurella real problems down with his pace down the outside, and Sonny's just, breakneck speed, and he tries to. And Sanchez, to be quite fair to him, I give him a lot of stick, but he's spread himself there. He's a big guy, and he's launched himself across the goal. Sonny can the only thing is at a full stretch. The only thing he can do is to go high. If he goes higher, then it's impossible for Sanchez to save. But he does well. You have to give the goalkeeper the credit there.
He does do well.
It was really at full stretch. I just think Sonny was just happy to get something on it and put it towards goal wise. And the goalie, the keeper, Sanchez, he's got off a real big rick really with the goal, with Sarr's goal being disallowed. But he's made a fantastic save for his team there.
But look at this, Tim, 20 defeats now in all competitions this season. It's the second most. The most is 21 back in 93, 94. But, they've still got, 8 games left?
Yeah. Well,
of the Premier League season, and they're still in Europe. Yeah. I mean, that could well be eclipsed.
Well, of course, it's going to be an unwanted record, what they're going to get. But like I keep going on to and harping on about, their season is over in the Premier League. It really is. They're not going to get relegated. It's impossible for them to reach the European spots. It's all about one game, and that's next Thursday against Frankfurt in the Europa League. And then it's going to be difficult. The easy games have gone now. in this competition. The players are all back to fitness. They have to get some confidence in the next Premier League game against Southampton. Hopefully they rotate the players and give everyone minutes who he needs to give minutes to. But the preparation, he has to have his eyes firmly fixed on next Thursday night against Europa League. They're capable of winning this competition and qualifying for the Champions League and lifting a trophy, and he will be a hero. He's gone from zero to hero if they win this tournament.
You say they're capable. How confident are you that they will win the Europa League?
Well, when I look at the second favourites are Man United, for instance, and when I look at the way Man United are playing at the moment, if they was to play in the final against each other tomorrow, I would think Tottenham would beat Manchester United. But there's other teams in it with lesser players who have got a better structure about them at the moment, a little bit more confidence, and it's going to be very difficult for them to win it. But I still think they're capable.
The way they play at the moment, they can't win that cup. Unless he changes, which he won't do. You cannot play football like that at the top level. I've said it before, at any top level of sport, if Root gets 100, it's because he knows when to defend to get the 100, to when to go for the 6 and the 4. You've got to have a balance. If you're a boxer as well, you've got one arm behind your back, you ain't going to be able to keep going swinging. You're going to get picked off. And football's like that as well. If Spurs keep playing like that, we're making it so hard to win football matches. That stat just told you.
Yeah.
Too many games, 16 losses in the Premier League. Yeah. I mean, we've heard this phrase before, but Thursday, it's all or nothing. It's absolutely all or nothing.
But they can be dynamic, Glenn, can't they? You know, they're a 20-over team.
If it was a one round, I'd say maybe.
But two
over 2 games, I can't see them going all the way and going.
Look, Spurs are 14th in the table. Their lowest ever Premier League finish is 15th. That was under Ozzy in 1994. With 2 months left of this league season, Can you still argue that Spurs and Ange is still the right fit?
Yeah, I would argue for him. I really would, on the basis of what he done last season. I think he was really encouraging what he delivered. I think we have to listen to him. He said that they're crippled with injuries this year, especially in them centre-back positions. But I still think there's an element of change what was needed and adapt your team. Cannot play the same way. When you're playing with Mickey van der Ven or Romero and all of the these best players, then fine when you play a certain way. But when they're out of the team, sometimes you have to change it up just to get results for the side to move them forward. Can't lose that amount of football matches if you're a Tottenham Hotspur manager. But it still could be very good for him.
Glenn, you say you see it's unlikely Spurs will progress in the Europa League or win it.
Hey.
But is it? I know you more than anyone want them to win it.
As much as I'd love it to happen.
But if they don't, where does it leave Ange?
Well, it leaves him on a knife edge, to be honest. With Daniel Levy's past, with the fans' situation as it is, it's going to be a difficult one for him. Unless he changes, I don't understand. I would love to sit down with Ange and have half hour with him and say, like, this is what happens, and come away from that conversation and go, I understand exactly what you're doing. I understand what you're trying to achieve and blah, blah, blah. But I'm afraid what I've seen so far, they've got their players back. That's a strong Tottenham team, without Kulusevski maybe, the only one. And they played the similar system there, and we still struggled. We had no control over that game. We had probably 3 or 4 minutes in the first half, and so there was no control over the game, and they got their best players back. So there is a question mark there, unless he adjusts and changes a little bit, and I think he'd have done that with all them injuries.
The outlook, however, is much brighter from a Chelsea perspective after that win tonight. So let's get the post-match thoughts of their head coach, Enzo Maresca.
Enzo, congratulations, up into the top 4. This feels like a big night for Chelsea.
Yeah, big win, first of all, because it's a derby. We know how important it is. And also, for the moment of the season, I think it was important tonight to win the game, to be again there. And, yeah, we are happy.
It felt like your team was on top for most of the evening, but 1-0 can often be a dangerous scoreline, and the game went on for so long. You must have been fearing that Tottenham were going to nick one at the end.
Yeah, no, especially in this league, where the game never finished. To be honest, the extra time I didn't expect 12 minutes, so I make some tactical changes that probably was too early. But knowing that was 12, probably I would wait a little bit. But the important thing is that the performance was good and we won the game.
You spent a lot of the night on the edge of their penalty area, but the Cole Palmer cross for the goal, that was real quality that told the difference.
Yeah, and Enzo position. Enzo was in position. I think we had also Jadon Sancho chance first half that came more or less from the same situation. I think overall we did enough tonight. We created enough to win the game, and at the end we had the reward.
Goals disallowed at both ends. I'm sure you'll be aware Ange Postecoglou was disappointed with how long they took. He felt that took some of the momentum from his team. What do you think about the duration and having 12 minutes added on?
I don't know, to be honest. Personally, I think 12 minutes probably between the two VAR, because it was the goal for us and the goal for them. Probably took time, required time, took time. But I don't have nothing to say, to be honest.
Shame for Caicedo, though, because it was a great strike.
Yeah, it was a great goal from Moy, but Moy performance has been once again top.
Okay, and up into the top 4, which is where you'll want to stay, I'm sure.
Yeah, we are there since we start, more or less, and hopefully we can finish there.
So a big win, a clean sheet. Was the tempo better from them, as we were discussing before the game?
I'm not sure the tempo was. I mean, they come on the front foot, which you expect at home at the Bridge against Tottenham. I wouldn't say that they didn't play free-flowing, quick football where it was 1-2 touch, through the pitch quickly, create, get a corner, get pressure. There wasn't that sort of performance from Chelsea. I think the manager just said it right, that they'd done enough to win. They deserved to win, as we've said. They'd done just enough to win tonight against Tottenham, who were playing a little bit within. Yeah. If they'd have played against the Liverpool tonight, or a Man City possibly, or a Forest, they might have had some trouble. They really might have.
Better structured to me.
Yeah.
Was it more rhythm, more pattern to their play?
Better structured. Caicedo is a diamond of a player. He breaks up so many attacks. He sits in that midfield. For Colwill and Chalobah tonight, he must have been a dream. He was just in there and he's just giving it to players who can play in front of him, likes of Enzo, Cole Palmer. Neto always threatens him behind, even though it wasn't his best game. And I've got Nicholas Jackson back. They need to finish in the top 5. Otherwise, it's not a very good season for them.
And if anything, Caicedo highlights what Spurs were missing, right?
Yeah.
OK, that's it.
Chelsea deserved all 3 points at Stamford Bridge, with Fernandez rising highest to nod in Cole Palmer's pinpoint cross in the 50th minute. Moses Caicedo and Pape Sarr both had goals ruled out by VAR, but Tottenham can have no complaints. The only reason the scoreline wasn't worse: Guglielmo Vicario, who made crucial saves to keep Spurs in the game. With rivals like Man City and Newcastle winning midweek, Chelsea needed this win to reclaim 4th place with 52 points. Meanwhile, Spurs stay 14th, now winless in 4 games. Chelsea's revival, Cole Palmer, who had been struggling for form, made his mark in the second half. First, he tested Vicario with a long-range strike, and then moments later, he delivered a perfect cross for Fernandez's winner. This was Palmer's first Premier League goal involvement in 8 games, and it couldn't have come at a better time. If Chelsea are to secure a Champions League spot, they need him firing again. Spurs' struggles continue. Ange Postecoglou's side welcomed back Mickey van der Ven, but the problems ran deeper. Chelsea's midfield duo of Fernandez and Caicedo dominated, while Spurs looked lightweight and disjointed. Dominic Solanke, making his return to Stamford Bridge, barely got a sniff of goal, while James Maddison struggled to influence the game. With just 10 points in 2024, only the bottom 3 clubs have a worse record. It's been a brutal start to the year, and with European fixtures looming, Spurs are at serious risk of their season unravelling. Chelsea take a big step toward the top 4, while Spurs are in freefall. Can Postecoglou turn things around, or is the pressure becoming too much? Let us know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to SportLab for more football breakdowns. See you next time.